Odinga is one of the veteran politicians in Kenya. He is a person who has tried on many occasions to challenge the highest office in the land and hasn't been successful. He is very close to the Obamas because both the Obamas and the Odingas were almost friends, and they come from a similar clan. And therefore, he is one person who is very popular in Kenya. And you know that it was in 2007 where the outcome of the elections were marred by violence that led to him later, after intervention by Kofi Annan, that would have included President Ramaphosa before he became an active government politician. At that time, he was still just an ordinary member of the ANC NEC and was appointed to intervene, but later only Kofi Annan was able to broker peace between those who were contesting elections at that time, and Raila Odinga was appointed the prime minister, and he tried again. He was defeated by Uhuru Kenyatta. He tried recently. He was defeated by the current president. As you know that now this current president has taken a decision to support him to be a candidate for the AU Commission chairperson, but he's quite a familiar person on the continent. He's got lots of friends on the continent. But for me, the issue here, when you look at his age, at the time where this continental body is saying that majority of people on the continent are young people, youngest population dominating the continent. Now you have a senior person like Raila Odinga having to lead this important continental body. And we saw the past few years how the organization has not been effective in terms of addressing the challenges facing the continent. And also, you know that, as I pointed out, because of the challenges of election outcomes in that country, in Kenya, he has always contested the outcome, and sometimes this leading to conflict and violence. And therefore, you ask yourself whether he will be able to deal with such challenges of election outcomes, because you know that on the continent, you always have that problem. But perhaps let's take a listen at what Raila Odinga said, and also the president of Kenya, Ruto, what he said, because it looks like he's really pushing that Odinga becomes the chair of the AU Commission. I don't know whether he's sending him to exile.
On behalf of the people of Kenya, a warm welcome to each and every one of you, and to thank you for making time out of your busy schedules to attend this historic event. We do not take it for granted that you found time to come. On the contrary, your visit honors our nation greatly. It is therefore an immense privilege to host all of you as we assemble in Nairobi to announce Kenya's nomination of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga as candidate for the position of chairperson of the Africa Union Commission.
The messages from those leaders in the region were quite clear in terms of their support for this candidate, but also emphasizing the challenges that he is likely going to face. The president of Uganda, Museveni, was there. The president of Tanzania, Suluhu Hassan, was there. And also other leaders, as you saw, the former president of Tanzania, Kikwete, and also the former president of Nigeria. But let's take a listen at what President Museveni and President Suluhu Hassan, the only woman who was there, had to say about this moment, even though, as I pointed out, to have such a senior person leading this organization. You heard him talking about the mineral wealth of this continent. I think it's young people who can utilize this wealth to really meet the challenges of today, particularly when you look at technology and all the industries that are currently powering the economy of the world, like your renewables and your tech sectors. Let's take a listen.
Now looking for a pointsman, the one to lead us in that big battle of prosperity. Because if you say prosperity comes from unity within each country, and then it comes from African integration, economic integration, then who is leading this? Is the one who is leading is a convinced person, or anafanya kibarua tu? Because that's where the problem is. You see, people are just doing things, just protocol. You go to Addis Ababa, French, madame, mademoiselle. The whole day you go to sleep. There is no conviction, no. So therefore, I'm very happy to come here to support on behalf of Uganda.
It is with all this in mind that the government of the United Republic of Tanzania endorses the candidature of Right Honorable Raila Odinga for the position of chairperson of the African Union Commission. Tanzania knows Odinga as Pan-Africanist leader who believes not only in the promise of African integration, but also in its practicality. He has maintained close relations with successive generations in Tanzanian leaders, as well as with many African leaders and partners who hold him in high esteem. He is well versed with the development concerns of our continent. It is based on his breadth of experience that he was charged with expediting Africa's integration through infrastructure development. Engineer Odinga knows full well what our union needs to do to meet the infrastructure development gaps critical to unlocking Africa's potentials.
Well, clearly, he is going to spend most of his time in Addis Ababa, the headquarters of the African Union. And as we heard Museveni there talking about how ineffective the union has been, you ask yourself, Raila Odinga, a senior person, when you look at his age, and you ask yourself, at 79, will he be able to really revitalize this continental body? A big question. And I think, particularly for young people, this is not a vote of confidence in terms of the future of this continent.
A big question indeed, as you say. Young people, of course, looking to see just how this particular, position gets used to try and address some of their serious. People, of course, looking to see just how this particular, position gets used to try and address some of their serious concerns. Unemployment, the rising cost of living crisis is impacting young people at a scale that is untold around the continent. So certainly lots of questions and focus on this particular role. But thank you so much for your time. That was SABC News International Editor Sophie Mokoena, and we'll continue.
Also this year, innocent lives. But we have also seen something that we want to see end with this year. The issue of as a country. This year has been very challenging to the people of Kenya. You've had serious economic problems. You've had challenges, you've had demonstrations. Lives have been lost in the course of this year. Innocent lives. But we have also seen something that we want to see end with this year. The issue of abductions of innocent people. This is a primitive thing. And it is something that is very strange. You cannot live in a country where people disappear or people are abducted for no other reason and kept incommunicado for a long time. That shows that there is no government. So the government must take this matter seriously. And this thing must end completely. People have been abducted. Families have been left in pain. Many parents have been crying. Our child was abducted the other day, and by some people who were uniformed, and you've never seen this child up to now. These kind of things are very strange. So I want to urge the government to ensure that this matter ends completely this year. We want a safe and secure country. We want a safe and secure country. Gone were those days when they used to arrest you and take you to Nyayo House. But at least then you're being taken to Nyayo House, which is a government institution. These days you're being taken to unknown places. We don't know, we don't want this kind of primitive things to happen in our country. It's primitive and it's unacceptable completely. So with those many remarks, I want to wish each and every Kenyan families all the best, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year 2025.